Okay, welcome and thank you for coming. I'm Captain Colin. I don't have the greatest pirate voice, but I'll give you the larg, and I'm going to start you guys off with a little story. And the way we're going to work this is we have the head colon hydrotherapist. I'm going to introduce them as we go along. And I'm Captain Colin. I help with consulting and sales. And these guys have remarkable stories. You're going to love to hear about it. We also have a very special solution that we use at our clinic that makes all the difference. It's what makes us different for colon hydrotherapy. So, in starting that, I'd like to find out how knowledgeable you guys are. Who thinks they know where Kellogg's cornflakes came from? What now? Well, let me tell you the story behind Kellogg's cornflakes. Well, they're great, but what happened was a man named Harvey Kellogg, he was a colon surgeon, and he did over 30,000 colon surgeries himself, and he oversaw over another 100,000 surgeries, teaching people and watching what the results were. What would happen is Harvey Kellogg would have somebody come into his office, but we're also going to explain this line later to you too.
Okay.
So keep an eye on it. And what happened was they'd come into his office and he'd all of a sudden, he'd cut out a piece of the colon, and they'd come in with not walking, they'd be blind in one eye, they'd have kidney problems, their digestive issues, deaf in one ear, or cut out this part of the colon. And then they'd walk out of the room, their eyesight would come immediately back, they'd be able to hear again. He just had all of their kidneys would function normally again. So we started to put together 2 and 2 and said, the congestion within the colon it's just clogging up the system, not making it able to work right. Because if you take all the capillaries, arteries, the veins, there is trillion, they say you can wrap it around the earth 3 times in one person. We're going to let you know a little more about how long the colon is soon. But the colon hub is feeding the rest of the body, and that's what he showed. So he started to go around and he watched and monitored gorillas, apes, just primitive cultures. And he saw, what are these guys eating? Why do they stay healthy? They're only eating grass and fruits and nuts and these healthy foods. What he started to find out is they go after every meal, like a little infant. He said, look, their digestion is perfect. And into the old age. And he also went around and studied different cultures. There's 2 huge volumes he put out in the 1930s. This information's been out there, and people just haven't accessed it, or it kind of got put in the way. But then let's move over to, how many of you know who Bernard Jensen is? Got any more? Well, Bernard Jensen, he's kind of a legend in the natural healing industry himself. Bernard Jensen had over 80 degrees. He brought anybody ever heard of iridology? Iridology is when you take a light, you look in the eyes, it's just like reflexology. You can see what goes on within the body through the eyes. What Bernard Jensen showed, he showed anybody who walked into his office, he made them go get a barium enema. Do you know what that is? Well, I hope you never have to get one, because what it is they put a radioactive solution, drink it, and then they take an x-ray, and they can see what your colon looks like. That's the fascinating thing. And what he showed, and you can see what the colon looks like, is he showed that 99% of people did not have a colon that looked normal. It was twisted, contorted, out of shape, and he verified it. First he looked at the eye, and made him go get a barium enema, then he treated him. And he showed things like breast cancer and different problems like heart disease, and all sorts of problems were related to the colon area. Because then they made a chart up of reflexology colon chart. We forgot a reflexology colon chart, didn't we? Don't worry, YouTube and everybody out there, we're going to get you one. But there's going to be if you have a certain area of your colon get compacted, it will actually affect that organ that it's connected to. For example, the transverse colon, going in this direction, directly affects the brain area. And also it can sag down and then just cause all sorts of problems pulling all the other organs down. So Bernard Jensen showed these things, and then he showed after, once he healed up the area of the colon, what would happen to these people Well, same thing as Dr. Harvey Kellogg. They would recover. Their lives would fully improve, their health, their well-being, clarity of mind, skin. So then moving to the last person I'm going to tell you about, and that's, anybody heard of Weston Price? Come on now. You guys got to go check out some videos on this, which I can get you everyone later. If they end up going to CaptainColon.com and email me, I have some videos that are very interesting. What Weston Price did is Weston Price, he was a dentist in the 20s. He started to see all this degeneration of teeth. He said, why are the teeth degenerating? And what he found out was, he started to study Eskimos, Africans, and Native Americans, Indians. He went all over the world. And what do you think he found out was the common strand of why these people had superior health and longevity? Can I get some answers here?
Grass.
So you're saying it's what they're eating? Any other takers? Well, what he showed was it's just that it's not necessarily the foods they were eating, it was the quality of the food they were eating. Eskimos were definitely not eating the same thing as the Native American Indians or the Africans. Because the Eskimos were eating fat and blubber, and you couldn't tell an Eskimo to be a vegetarian; they would have laughed at you. But you could tell an African to be a vegetarian. But the Africans definitely weren't vegetarians either. But so the thing that he noticed was they ate whole foods that primarily did consist mostly of vegetables, but there would be meat in there, but the meat was clean. And so there's different theories where we move to this day and age now, where our meat is very tainted, polluted. We really got to look at our food sources. But then you want to know what Weston Price discovered that was the most fascinating thing of everything is when they went to civilized diets. They went off their local diet of blubber or whatever they were eating, of vegetables and nuts and seeds. What do you think happened when they started to have the refined sugar and the McDonald's and the Coca-Cola? Their teeth started to degenerate. After he proved, and then he had another guy come in, that after 3 generations, certain cultures would become infertile of going to civilized diet. They ended up having that for wisdom teeth out, they'd have cavities. And that's where we come in as colon hypotherapists and fasting. We're not just a colon hypotherapy clinic, and that's what we want to make clear as we go through this. The people that come into our clinic, we want them to go on a cleanse, a fast. We can do one colonic for you, but where the magic happens is when you do 2 weeks. When you come in and all of a sudden, boom, you are weak. Your energy changes, your vitality. We've seen, they're going to go, him especially, right? Well, both of them. They're both remarkable stories themselves.